You're listening to Bionicle Commentary Central, your central location for Bionicle and brick-based discussion.
Today is Friday, July 1st, 2016, and you're listening to the Bionicle Commentary Central podcast, episode 59. Wow, we're almost at 60. Wow.
I'd like to congratulate all U.S. citizens yesterday after this is released, on National Anti-British Day.
Really? You're gonna go there?
Yep, I hope you all had fun. If you're dating a British person, breaking up with them. I hope you called someone Trevor.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I'm sure people would have fun, getting out of a relationship.
Well,
I'm sure some sadistic people think that's fun.
Oh, but
that's right.
Ford, it's a tradition. It's a tradition, Ford.
Is it really?
Yes, it's been a tradition.
Maybe it's just your tradition. You must have a really jaded past or something. But I digress.
No, think about it. We celebrate on July 4th breaking up with British people. Literally.
Yeah. I guess if you think of it that way, that makes sense. So anyway, you are listening to the
breaking things
Commentary
up.
Central podcast.
Oh, we're not supposed to do segues like that anymore.
It's only Boss Man and I.
I'm LQ.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody else either had the book or could make it. So it's just us, and we get
This
to
is
talk
why
one-on-one
you
about
either
the book.
pre-order or buy digital copy.
Yep, that's why I buy on iBooks. iBooks, because Apple is cool.
I buy on
man.
Amazon Kindle. Because it works on everything, except for maybe Apple products, but who cares?
Well, you can get a Kindle app. I'm pretty sure they still have it.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure if they have the Kindle app on. Maybe they have a bootleg one or something.
I mean, I don't use it, if they do, but
I like the Kindle app. It allows me to highlight in 3 different colors.
I can highlight in different colors.
How many?
Let's see. Let me highlight something real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Darn it.
And it allows me to underline and add notes.
I can add notes.
Well, I have more colors, so I stick my tongue out at you.
So, as you may have guessed, today we're going to be talking about Escape from the Underworld, the latest and possibly, we're not totally sure yet, last of the Bionicle G2 chapter books.
I will say, just right off the bat, if this is the last book, way to go out with a bang. I like this book. I can tell you didn't already.
I wouldn't say that, but
just deal an absolute.
I have a mixed opinion on it. I don't think it's the worst book. I don't think it's the best book.
I kind of feel the same way. I still think that the best literary material out of this generation so far, Battle of the Mask Makers.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if you want to just be like chapter books only, Revenge of the Skull Spiders. But
Revenge. It was definitely better than what was the first one again?
Oh yeah, everything was better than that. Not that it was a bad book. It was just like.
Anyway, but yeah, I like the parts of it that actually included world building. I found the parts that didn't include any world building or exposition a bit boring.
Like what?
Like when they're traveling up the sides of mountains and not saying anything, or even the fight scenes were a bit boring. Because I didn't feel like there were any stakes in the fight scenes at all.
I felt like there were pretty big stakes in the fight scenes.
I didn't.
I mean, sort of.
We'll get to that, though. I want to go through it. We have a lot of time, so let's start as like the set reviewers do, and start with the packaging, the cover.
Oh, the
cover makes no sense. Like, this isn't something exclusive to Bionicle, though. Literally any book. I don't think people who put the covers on ever read the book. It never makes any sense.
I'm kind of jumping ahead a bit here in saying this, but I think if they, at the end, established, like, a key move building their new armor...
But they didn't.
Then it would have worked, but they didn't. which I kind of expected them to do, but they didn't. So like, so that's kind of stinks.
Yeah. And then immediately you go inside and it's back to the G1 masks. I mean, not G1 Wave 1.
Yeah. Not that the Wave 1 masks are bad. I think they're good.
They're not bad, but just they don't match now.
They don't have gray hair. That's beside the point.
Then as we go in, we see a picture of Pohatu. Then we see a picture of Liwa. And we're on to Chapter 1. Skull Grinder Wakens. And this is the part Ford had already told me about, so...
Yeah, I told
But it's very interesting nonetheless.
Give me some brownie points, please. I like brownies. They're good.
I've never understood that phrase. It sounds kind of odd to me. What are brownie points?
I don't know.
They sound weird.
I don't know.
Maybe suggestive. I don't know.
I thought it was cool, like, how as you go along in the book, you learn what Kulta's relationship to Makuta was.
Yeah, in this first chapter, that was interesting. How, well, for the first time ever, Kulta has a personality, first off. That was something we'd never gotten before. Where literally all he's done in the past is laugh.
I just want to address this. Everybody kept on complaining that Kulta didn't have a personality, and then they get it in this book, and nobody buys this book. I just want to put that out there. Like, not even... Like, I alerted BZ Power that this book was coming out, and they did nothing. Didn't even report it on their news feed.
Oh, yeah, I just thought of that. I haven't really seen this on BZ Power at all.
I haven't seen this anywhere.
Oh, TTV did report when it came out.
Zero discussions of the content in this book.
Huh. I guess I just finished it yesterday. Well, actually, I finished the last paragraph today. But, yeah, I guess you're right. I really haven't seen too much about it. But, yeah, BZP hasn't really reported on it, have they? Let's see.
No one's reported on it.
BZP doesn't timestamp their articles, do they? Oh, no, there they are. It's in an odd place. Yeah. Huh. Because it came out, what was it, Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday, that was the 28th.
And nothing. Like, I even made a
TTV was the only person like on the internet to report on it.
I even made a topic devoted to this discussion of this book on BZ Power, and most of the replies were, "Oh, that book came out? Well, I guess I'll go get it." And then one of the staff members posted on that topic saying, "Oh, I completely forgot about that."
Wow. Wow.
I feel like the
BZ Power staff is kind of like the most casual of the fans, though, honestly.
I feel like just like the interest of Bionicle is just slowly dwindling.
I mean, I feel like G2 interest was never that high on BZP to begin with, so there was a few people, but the majority of people didn't care that much from what I picked up.
About the new set? About the new thing?
Just about when it was rebooted in general. BZP was one of the least places that, well, partly because when it first came out, they banned the hype, so that was a major issue, I think. I think that might have actually taken away a lot of their G2 fan base to begin with.
Now there's, like, none at all. Like, now it's just, like, complaining about, oh, why do we get this instead of more G1? I want more G1. How would you end G1? Which... There is a topic for how would you end it once and for all, and I commented, yeah, it's over. It's been over for years. Get over it. There's a new thing going on. Okay?
Yeah, I think that's a bit unfair.
Like,
I still think people have the right to talk about it.
Why are you complaining that Bionicle is over and you should give it an end? It's happening. It's active.
Yeah, I mean... I understand that to a point, but also if they don't like G2, they still have a right to discuss G1 if that's their thing.
I mean, yeah, but it's like the same question always comes up, like, how would you end it? And I'm like, it has ended. The end.
Yeah, the reason that question comes up is because no one likes how it ended, and it wasn't that much of an ending.
Well, I was perfectly content with it, even if it is a cliffhanger.
But anyway,
that's all there is,
we already had an episode where we pretty much roasted the issues with BZP. Go back and watch that.
It kind of reminds me of the recent, if anyone knows about it, the Mace Windu is alive thing. No.
Oh yeah, you're mad about that because I was talking about that yesterday.
I am mad about it because for 10 years I have said to myself, Mace Windu dies.
Oh, for 10 years I have said Mace Windu does not die.
I was okay with it. And I'm like, you know what? If they at least put him in Rebels, if they put him in there,
They could.
I will be fine. If they put him in a
Technically,
movie,
okay, here's the thing. Technically, it's not officially confirmed.
Look, if they put him in Rebels, or no, not Rebels, in Rogue One, or its dumb sequel that it's probably going to get, then I'm not going to see that movie.
Oh, I would definitely see if they did
I'm
that.
already not even going to see Rogue One. I don't like the premise. I already know how it ends.
I'm more interested in it once I found out they're actually having characters from the Clone Wars in it.
The beginning of A New Hope, essentially.
Yes, but I want to see if they'll include more Clone Wars character cameos. Then I will be happy.
Honestly, with the new Star Wars continuity that they're bringing up, with the advent of The Force Awakens and all of its quote-unquote glory days that it's brought back, I am not faithful in the new Star Wars. That and, Boss Man, I told you the story of the Star Wars shirt. I don't want to say it here.
Yeah.
You should cut this out of the podcast. You should.
Why do you even bring it up then?
Stuff.
Why do you bring it up?
To help my point. Anyway, books.
Books. Oh, just for the record, I don't hate Star Wars as much as Ford does.
I mean, I like it, but I don't like the new continuity.
I like the new continuity better than Rebels.
Except for Rebels. Rebels is the only good thing that Disney has going for Star Wars right now, for me. And you're the complete opposite, but that's beside the point.
Yes, so anyways, Skull Grinder. First off, we finally find out his name truly is Kulta, which I feel like this is Ryder Windham's response to literally overlooking it, which he admitted to in the interview.
I think it makes a lot of sense for that to happen, where he's just like, he's called Skull Grinder for years and years and years, and that becomes like a legend sort of thing, where his name is just kind of lost to history amongst the Akodans. And then he gets told his name. He's like, so,
But I do like how Ryder Windham used that to kind of explain something I feel like was a miscommunication within the story team. You know, that it was in one place, but in none of the other places the name Kulta.
If you're gonna bring up the fact that in that one interview he did with those people and such, he was like, "Oh, they just told me do whatever," and you think that the story team doesn't know what they're doing, I'm going to just stop you right there and say they do know what they're doing.
Nah, I think they only know what they're doing sometimes.
I'm sure they know what they're doing. I'm sure they don't just like make things... I'm sure they don't just make things up on the fly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Ryder Windham actually said a lot of it was stuff they make up on the fly, that they tried to keep so much open, and they wouldn't even give him the details he needed for a lot of things, so he had to make them up himself. And that's actually what this book was doing, is he was talking about how there's no details on where the Skull Warriors came from, so it's something he had to make up himself.
And that's what this book entirely is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what people wanted to know. That's the thing. It's what people wanted to know, and no one's bought this book.
I still think the fact that the name Kulto is only one place, I think can only be chalked up to miscommunication, because why would you have a name... like, get the copyright for it, publish it in your media, and not use it other places.
I mean, I honestly, with the way that the community is treating this entire thing, I don't really care anymore. I just want to discuss the story and how I think it's okay.
Well, I'll tell you, then you won't like this next part. I have some issues with wordings again in this first chapter.
Oh my god, it's just a book.
Yes, but we're discussing stuff here, and that discussing does not mean only dwelling on the positives nor the negatives, but both.
Okay.
So, here's one of the first things. For some reason,
they don't have
he had to explain, including 2 skull scorpions with poisonous stingers. It's a kind of an odd detail to give. And then, when he calls his own weapon the multi-bladed mask stealer's staff.
That's what it is.
I know, but it
has
energizing his own weapon, the multi-bladed mask stealer's staff. It just doesn't sound right. Oh, but moving on from that, now we're back onto story rather than wording. The Toa were idiots again. When they were rebuilding Ikimu's tomb into a museum, the Skull Scorpions, who apparently didn't die, they just threw them over the cliff again like they did with Loss. and which probably are going to come back and kill someone again.
They threw him over the cliff with Loss, Skull Slicer, and now them, which it's a pretty high cliff. I don't.
Yeah,
think
but
ever
they
gonna
always
get
come back.
Again.
I think that
it didn't take them much to defeat them the first time.
Yeah, it did. Lewa had to vandalize public property.
Well, they repaired it in this book.
I guess, fine. But still, I think it's not a good idea to leave two dangerous beasts just down there in the canyon where we've clearly seen in Revenge of the Skull Spiders there's at least one way up.
This brings up something I really like about this book, real quick, now that you mention it. When they're taking out the Skull Scorpios, they use this thing that a lot of people wanted to see that this book delivers on. Teamwork.
What's that? Oh.
They actually communicate as a functional team. I like that. Because we really haven't seen that yet in the visual media. Other than, hey, I'm a Kimu, I do things. Tack them all at once together. Yeah, we won.
It's alright. I really didn't think it was that great. But
you see it a lot more later in the book, I think.
As things go on, we get more named characters, which is always good, adding to the world. This one woman, her nephews went missing because she allowed them to play in this dark, misty canyon for some reason.
They were not playing in a dark, misty canyon. They were traveling to the city of the mask makers.
Was that really the only way they could have gone?
Probably.
Then how come no one else got caught if the hawk, which we'll get to later, was supposed to grab everyone that comes through?
Well, there were many people there.
And how come they only saw the tracks of those three? That means they're the only three that went through there. Well, we'll get to that when we get there.
I'm sure there were more people who went along that path, like, over the years.
Okay, well, as things go on, we'll get to that when we get to that point in the book. Okay, Ikimu hears that Skull Grinder praying to Makuta, so that's officially a thing.
Yeah, so, like, from what we gather... I'm just gonna go a bit forward here. So Makuta came to the Skull Raiders, who were led by Kalta, and said, "Hey, I'm gonna if you work for me, I'm gonna do great things for your people."
Great things. Great things.
Great things. He's like, "Okay." Cole's just like, okay.
And also the Protectors believe his body was obliterated. I hope it was obliterated. I want things being obliterated in Bionicle. That sounds
awesome.
Yes,
I don't know
Bionicle
why.
needs more things being obliterated.
I highted that sentence where...
So did I.
The Protectors believe his body was obliterated. I'm like...
Yep, I highlighted it as well. But yeah,
I don't know why. I just think it's so cool. It just, confirms what everybody wanted wanted to know about it. But they were just like, oh, how come nobody cared about Makuta? Was he really that unliked that they just didn't bother to find his body?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's dead or something? I'm like...
Well, in all fairness, I think he really was that unliked, too, at that point. After everyone saw him trying to take over.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is, to tie this back in with the last graphic novel, that whole thing with the mask happened, the mask of the tree growing or whatever thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the
mask of illegal tree growing.
And that was after a series of illegal masks that he made.
Mask of tree growing. Does that mean it grows some... Never mind.
And they make it out to be as if, they already say that, Ikimu's masks were the most treasured.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody liked them. And they didn't really like Makuta's. So I'm thinking, at some
Makuta was ugly.
During the events of those, he's like, I'm going to make this Mask of Ultimate Power. Why don't I get some followers? Because I'm going to rule this island.
Well, here's where we come into an issue with that, and that's it seemed, at least from the last graphic novel, Battle of the Mask Makers, that he wasn't planning on ruling the island. So it kind of seemed, there seems to be a kind of... Yeah, that he said he was going to use the mask to, help them grow their crops and stuff like that. It wasn't until the mask took him over that he said he was going to rule them.
I'm thinking Maybe
So that
he lied?
he could have lied. I mean, he could have lied, or he could have been lying to Kulta about the alliance, and he was like trying.
Hey, I don't know.
But there is a contradiction there. Someone lied somewhere.
I don't want to just like cut to the end of the book because
we'll get to that.
What you just said kind of seems sound, considering the last like bit of the book.
Mm-hmm.
With Kulta, huh?
All right, so we go the Toa walk up, kind of a boring walk, until they get to Kimu talking about the mountains and how Koto's geography has changed. Something we already knew, just again confirming it.
He's just saying like some things are similar, but most of it is way different.
Liwa gets attacked again and loses his mask again.
And his axe.
Yep.
That's important too, I think. I guess. I don't know.
And Pohatu apparently can officially generate tornadoes for some reason.
Oh,
That's
also,
doing with stone.
His airship, we know what happened to that. And
it was destroyed.
In the
I kind of
capital
assumed
city,
that.
Which apparently is the name of the city that the museum was in.
See, that's why the protectors didn't die like everyone else in Capital City. Because they were shielded by the airship and Akimu's face.
To Kimu's face.
You know, his face is on the bottom of it. So they were shielded by his face.
He's got a adorable face.
That's why they survived and everyone else died.
Although I think Eppelin would have survived on her own. I had to. She's got enough padding.
That was pretty much it for that chapter. Not too much happened there. It was mostly Liwa fighting a hawk hit like an idiot. And then Pohatu being an idiot and losing the hawk. Oh, wait, was that not the end of the chapter?
Well...
Oh, no, it wasn't quite the end of the chapter, is it?
I think towards the end of it, or like, towards the end of it...
There's something happens with Kulta. Kulta breaks out.
A skull spider, like, breaks into the City of the Mask Makers.
Hey, Ford! Ford! What? You know what this was like? What else happens when a spider breaks out a villain from all the heroes are away? Hero Factory Breakout. Huh? I don't
remember.
You don't remember that? The Black Phantom had a spider, which he used to break everyone out.
Was it the spider?
I don't remember what the spider's name was.
Watch that again.
Yes, but he literally copied the Black Phantom to break him out using a spider. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this, but we know now that just because Loss is gone, it doesn't mean the Skull Spiders aren't a threat anymore.
Exactly.
And that means
we
Bing Zack is still an orphan.
That from Journey to One. We knew that. We? Yeah. The first
forgot.
scene, they attack.
No, that was the Skull Warriors, not the Skull Spiders.
Yeah, the Skull Spiders and the Skull Warriors attack together, combined.
Oh.
Remember?
I forgot. I didn't realize that they had Skull Spiders in their head.
Do you not remember that's bad?
It was a while ago that I saw that, okay? But yes, okay, now that you bring it up. Okay, that actually is a good point I want to go on later, too.
Yeah, I still think the Skull Spiders are a considerable threat.
So anyways,
people don't think of them very highly.
But here's the thing. Bing Zack's parents are still gone, which means Bing Zack is probably going to forever remain an orphan, and that also probably means...
I thought they saved them.
I don't think they do.
I thought they did.
They saved someone else's parents in the first graphic novel.
Forget them. We need Bing Zack's parents.
No, Bing Zack's parents are permanently zombified.
Well...
What if at the end, like, as Makuda's being defeated, he just, like, tells the Skull Spiders to throw everyone they're controlling off a cliff?
Well, he's gonna have a rough childhood.
Yep, poor Bing Zack. He never even came back, did he?
I assume he went to the City of the Mask Makers like everybody else did.
Well, not everyone went there, because not everyone can fit in one city.
Well, the way the book explained it, yeah, they could, because all the villages...
you think about...
Well,
Ford, you remember a while ago I had my theory about a bunch of Matoran dying on Matanui because of the harsh environment? If the population now is that low that they used to have multiple villages everywhere and a huge capital city and a huge city of the Mask Makers, that they can now all fit in the single city of the Mask Makers, that means that there have been some major problems with population and people dying on Akodo.
Well, for starters, their entire island got rocked with a shockwave. That probably killed...
Yeah, we know everyone in Capital City died, I guess.
That probably killed thousands of people. in the city alone. Not to mention all the other
Okay.
people who would have died in the shockwave.
Yeah, and
then,
I guess a
over
lot
the
of
years,
people would.
the conditions on the island get harsher because they became
All
more,
the
like,
cities were
elemental.
destroyed. We know from the first novel where Kopaka sees the destroyed ice city. So
then
pretty
the
much they were
skulls-
living it. Okoto is a post-apocalyptic world.
Pretty much. And barely anyone lives on it, except for the villagers. And apparently the Skull Raiders.
Oh yes, but we'll get to them. I think in this
Yeah.
next chapter.
Yes.
So, oh, and poor Skullbasher. He's left behind. No one
nobody
cares
liked
about
him.
Skullbasher.
Kalto
I like him.
didn't
He's the
even like
only
him.
Skull villain that I bought.
You know, I just recently rebuilt Kalta with the Uniter torso, specifically Tahu's body type, like with his shoulders and such. And I was thinking of doing the same for Skullbasher. Because right now I have like a whole like main villain display, minus loss, on my shelf, where I have like Kulta, and then next to him is Umarak the Hunter, and then next to him is Umarak
Can you
the
make
Destroyer.
the red version of Umarak the Hunter? I want
really
to see the
want
red
to.
version.
I really want to, but I'm not sure how I'll go around doing that.
We'll just start by swapping out all the trans green with trans
Yeah,
red.
but what about the chest plate? That still
Well-
has green on it.
And
And he loses a lot of character when you take off the
use-
chest plate.
wow, you could try using Lava Beast chest plate.
Oh my goodness, you're a genius.
Because it kind of like matches the mask.
Oh wow, that'd be cool. Okay, I'll have to do that.
Inferno Umarak.
Inferno Umarak. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'll have to try it. But I like the green Umarak. It gives him a lot of character. And I still, let me go on a bit of a tangent here. Umarak the Destroyer, I love his color scheme. That bright neon green that they have going on with him makes him scary, to me, at least. Because even when you have him in the dark, I still can see the yellow. Isn't that creepy? Like, I can
yes.
still see it. It's like, that's, like, you know how creepy he is when you can still see him in the dark.
Like
When
the
you can
Paraka.
when you can still see him coming, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, just like the Paraka and their glowing teeth.
Yeah, and they're...
Or the Vaki
Light up
and their glowing
eyes.
discs. Or,
The villains had a lot of glow-in-the-dark stuff, didn't they?
yeah,
Takadox was completely glow-in-the-dark.
Gadunka.
Oh, yeah. Nocturne.
Oh, yes, Nocturne. You know, I have like a nearly complete Nocturne. I was going to scrap for
Really?
parts when I bought him, but I never...
Oh, wow.
I just felt I couldn't scrap him for parts. I didn't have a Nocturne already. I feel like he doesn't have any of his weapons is the
Oh.
problem.
To my knowledge, the last contraction set to have glow-in-the-dark parts was Dragon Bolt. And I had him, and he was
Dragon Bolt?
super cool. Dragon Bolt, Hero Factory set.
Which one was that? I don't know my
He was
name.
He was a blue dragon from Brain Attack,
Okay.
and the brain that he had was like a special one with like
Oh, like the
glow-in-the-dark eyes.
like the Gadunka Takadox, like blue.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was like the normal blue, not the dark blue.
Okay.
But I thought it was a really cool set. It had like a wing flapping function. It was cool. It's kind of derivative of Skullbasher's like function, where if you push down, his like arms kind of go out.
Mm-hmm.
But with wings and sideways. But
yes.
hey, look, a book. So the underground city, I thought was a really cool concept.
Yes.
I actually, when I found the chapters of this book, I actually went back into some old discussions on like BZ Power and such, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I want next year for," it was like back like comments made in 2015, and they were like, "Oh, next year I want them to go like underground Okoto," and I'm like, "Well, you got it." This book is literally giving people everything they want, and nobody has it. It's so sad.
The first few pages of this chapter are kind of boring, though, where they're just
Yeah.
like going across the mountain.
I actually projected this book, like the screen, onto a television screen and read it aloud to myself to make it more interesting because I was getting so bored.
Why didn't we do that? Why don't we just get... Well, it's too late now. We should have just gotten into a call and have someone narrate the book for everyone.
You know, I've been thinking of... this might be a little bit of behind the scenes thing, but I've been thinking about doing audiobook versions of these books. The Generation 2 books.
That could be interesting.
Maybe getting voice work for the
Once
characters.
Leo gets a decent mic.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. And I thought that'd be interesting if we could do that.
Yeah.
There's something else to do that isn't a podcast.
Let's see, what, the Bionicle narration project, what was that called? I forgot, but they've been kind of in hiatus for a while.
Audio narration project.
Oh. But yeah,
I don't think
I'm sure they'll never get to... They didn't get very far. I don't think they're done exactly.
No, they're not. I think they started Makuta's Revenge. But
yeah, they started Makuta's Revenge. I feel like they might have finished Makuta's Revenge.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, but no one has done G2. But I feel like it's a bit early, actually, for us to do G2 narrations because they're still on sale. You know? So it's not really fair to the publisher that people might listen to the audiobook version and not buy. Maybe in like a year, you know, once the books are off market.
You know what? It sounds like a good idea.
It was infinite inspiration, that's what it was. Oh, wow, they've uploaded some other stuff, like weird remixes.
Oh, wow. So, anyway, back to this book.
8 months. Wow, it has been a long time. Yes, we are discussing books.
So, yeah.
It was just boring for a while. Really boring. I forgot how long this part was.
Were pirates. Arg.
Yes. Okay, so I'm still...
What is it... Okay, hang on. What is it with LEGO this year and pirates? I mean, Ninjago...
Well, LEGO's always had an obsession with pirates.
Yeah. LEGO Pirates has never ceased to disappoint.
But anyway, we got a bit of history there where the Skull Raiders, the Protectors, Makuta and Nakimu drove them into the mountain.
The Protectors defeated these Skull Raider pirates in battle.
But they have the same issue as the Toa have. They just threw them off a cliff instead of actually making sure they were dead, and then they came back.
Well, usually falling means you die.
Ford, have you seen Bionicle 3?
Mace Windu.
Ford, have you seen Bionicle 3?
Kill you.
How many times did the villains try and kill people by falling in Bionicle 3, only to have them come back? The only person who didn't let gravity decide was... Oh, darn, I forgot his name. Kitungu. And he beat his enemy to death, physically. Well, he begged for mercy.
That movie is for children.
Yes.
Well... And,
but anyway, the point is, you never let gravity decide.
And people got ran over.
The reason PG-13 was invented was because of Temple of Doom, wasn't it?
Really?
I think so.
There wasn't even that much going on in that movie.
Well, the heart.
Come on. That was nothing.
Well, anyway. We should have had something... I wonder if Kitungu did that to Sidorak off-screen. After he killed him, he took his head and then just...
Ripped out his heart?
Yep.
I bet you, ripped out his heart, squeezed the blood, or whatever it is,
and then that's what he used to cure the Toa.
Screaming. Like a primal
and then he used the remains of the heart to concoct a potion to cure the Hortika.
That makes sense. That's my new headcanon now. He used Sidorak's blood as a cure. Apparently, Steltians have a natural...
Oh, also, they mentioned, why didn't they try and leave Akoto? That kind of confirms that there are other known lands beyond Akoto.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad nobody's talking about that interesting tidbit.
So anyways, yeah, this chapter, though, besides those few bits of world-building work, was a bit more boring. Then we see Kulta coming back, and he's seeing his hawk got off its leash.
Like, hey, what are you doing? You're not doing the job.
At least Umrek's not in Nebraska, where he'd be able to see his hawk running away for 3 days.
At least we got more creatures and such.
Yep, a
That's
hawk.
cool.
How fast can you learn how to fly a hawk?
Speaking of birds, Akimu's falcon. I want to build it so much.
Wonder if that'll ever be canon. Probably not.
Probably not.
Oh, right. Then Chapter 4, Golly's Challenge.
My favorite.
They
chapter.
finally have gotten into the underground city at this point.
Yes, and they found the 2 children that they had to find, as well
And Liwa,
as,
who's like a child
Liwa,
himself.
Who's like, hey, what's going on? Party? Whoa! Nobody invited me.
But anyways, now that we're deep into the underground city, there's a point I'd like to pause the book to talk about.
Oh boy.
And that is, Skull Warriors.
Oh boy.
So we always assumed when they were coming up from underground that was because they were undead.
But really,
but
it's
in
because
truth-
they were just digging underground from their city.
Yeah, and also it wasn't that they're mindless, that they had a different language. That was a very creative way Ryder
Yeah.
Windham dealt with the problem.
I think that's cool. And apparently Akimu
But-
and Makuta knew that language.
But there's still an issue. What does that make Skull Slicer?
He's one of them.
But he used to be an arena fighter, and if they are like always the enemy of the Akotans...
I've heard this being thrown around, but perhaps...
You said no one was talking about it.
No one by, like, any of the major groups. The TTV message boards, people are, like, sort of talking about it, but not really because of other things that have happened today that we will get to, maybe, later on in the podcast.
Wait, things happened today?
Poster.
Oh, the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks great, but we'll get to that later. What was I talking about?
Yeah, okay, so there's several theories here that Skull Slicer was never with the rest of the Skull villains.
I've heard the theory go around that Skull Slicer was with them, but he got captured and was
Okay, that's what I was
forced
going to say. So he's pretty much
fight
like a
him.
literal gladiator.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, that is a
because
cool theory.
A lot of the history around Akoto shows that the people are really just a bunch of jerks. At least they were
one
back
quick
then.
thing for it. Did Skull Slicer ever talk? I feel like he talked once.
I don't remember.
Because if he did talk, that would mean he didn't use the same language, which could mean that he wasn't part of them.
I don't know. But,
And also, remember in the magazine, which now is actually turning out to be more canon, he's the
they
only
said
one who
that
talks
he
about not
was-
being under Makuta's control. So it's very possible he wasn't with
Perhaps
them.
he wasn't under Mikuta's direct control, but was more under the control of Kulta.
Well, the rest of the Skull Warriors, as we know it, were under control of Kulta then because he was like the leader of the clan.
Except for him, he was just a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's interesting.
So which makes me think kind of his alliance wasn't to Kulta ever, which means he wasn't exactly with Makuta, which means he may have not been with the Skull Raiders altogether.
Maybe... Oh my goodness. How do I put this to words? So, what if he was there before the Skull Raiders got there thousands of years ago? So what if, like, he just kind of ended up on that island, and then people found him and were like, hey, this guy looks funny and dumb, and I hate him. Let's go have him fight things. And that's where he learned to fight, in the arena.
Or what if he just wanted to fight?
And then the Skull Raiders came, and were like, hey, there's more people like him? Uh-oh. This guy's pretty dangerous. What are they
I mean,
like?
yeah, it is possible he's just of the same species, but he wasn't a member of the clan, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if he's, like, just...
Though I'm
member?
kind of under the assumption, though, that he wasn't forced to fight. Just because how crazy he is, I think he seems to
maybe he just
enjoy
went
it.
insane in, like... Maybe he was insane before and, like, just started wrecking stuff and was like, hey, what do we do with this guy who we just imprisoned who's crazy? He has 4 arms.
Business. Problem solving. I hope someone
It's
got
a lot
the quote.
cleaner than wars, you know.
No, maybe that's it. Maybe he's like the village idiot for the Skull Clan.
Maybe.
And then they were trying
just,
to stop a war by
sent
putting him
out
in the
on,
arena.
Like, the tiniest
But it didn't work.
rafts. And we're like, help.
No,
Bye.
like they sent him out into the arena to like fight and try and solve their dispute over Akoto without war.
I don't think that would happen. I think the Skull Raiders, like, from what we gather from this book, they always wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Especially from Akimu's description of
Who
them.
knows? We need to get Skull Slicer the book.
I also thought it was really cool they had like the images of like the mask maker masks, and
Oh,
the mask
spit
creature
is a
was
thing.
covered in spit. I
Yes,
thought that
spit
was
is
kind of
officially
cool.
a thing. Spit wasn't a thing in Bionicle G1.
Well,
At least not with, like, humanoids.
well, there's another thing you can discuss: the composition of enzymes in saliva of a Toa or
Well,
a
technically we
Skull
don't know for
Raider.
sure if the Toa have spit.
Or Skull Raider.
We know for certain that the Skull Raiders have spit. We don't know if the Toa have spit or not yet.
Figure it out.
But anyways,
this
then
is
they
also
fight.
where we get we sort of get introduced to Exato,
Yep.
which from what we gather is sort of like Culta's second hand, like Culta's right hand, or like his second in command when he's not at the underground city.
Mm-hmm.
From what I gather, I kind of want to build mock of this guy too.
You know, that's the cool thing. Everyone's, like, skull mocks can be canon now as
I
part
know,
of the Skull
it's so
Tribe.
cool. I want to build more stuff now. Like I had a great time with the protectors, the ancient protectors. They were cool.
Ooh, you should make a band of skull bounty hunters.
Oh my goodness, you're giving me so many cool things to do. This is why G2 is cool. Okay, it offers
That's like-
so much in terms of like the characters you can make and the creatures and the everything that is present in the world that people just overlook, and it stinks. But
Anyway, as we go forward, not much happens. Golly is letting
What?
herself get beat up and then beating up another guy.
Gally's like, hey, I have a plan. I'll distract the crowd because they'll be more worried about me and my awesome good looks and how I'm getting beat up and how
Why didn't she just... It's obvious that she could have just destroyed this guy first chance he tried.
That
Why
was
did she just do
another
that and then
thing
have
was,
him
like,
released?
Have the Toa established that they can like fire off their elemental abilities without the need of their weapons?
Yeah, they did. They actually talked about that.
So why didn't she just use her water on the lava pit and then save them?
Well, I think we've also already established that Toa are kind of idiots.
At least they have more teamwork in this one. At least they're a little bit smarter. At least they know what their abilities are at some point.
No wagering. Ikimu is sadly against gambling.
Yeah, he's a.
You know how
he's a
forward...
buzzkill.
I'll put this up in the video, though. We have that Spider-Man meme. Have you
Oh,
seen that one?
There's so many Spider-Man memes. All of them are funny. It doesn't matter.
I'll put the one up in the video. But for those who are just watching audio, which I'm sure some people do, there's this Spider-Man meme. It's just Spider-Man swinging across the city, waving at the camera, and he's saying, "Remember, kids, gambling is good for you."
All those Spider-Man memes are the best.
Spider-Man is like the best meme.
I need that folder of memes.
Oh, I have it, Ford.
Yes,
I'll send it to you.
my life is
Right.
complete.
Anyway.
Dude, put it on the drive. Put it on drive. It's fine.
And this is related because there are skull spiders in this
Yes.
book.
I also like, who really controls the skull spiders? Because apparently Culta does.
I
they
think,
have-
okay, there seems to be like a chain of command. If one person gets knocked off, the next person takes over. And Makuda's at the top, and then Culta, and then Loss. And then they're Hive Mind.
Sure, let's go with that. But like,
Because we know as
are
soon
the
as
skull
Loss...
spiders?
We do... Oh, yeah, that's something we've got to bring up that we established. Loss was affiliated with the Skull Grinder.
Yeah.
We did not know that for sure. A lot of people actually speculated it was something totally different for a while.
I want to say that like maybe Lost was his pet.
Maybe,
Like, maybe,
but
like,
maybe
he was
Lost.
Culta's
Now we
pet.
know that there's like other
maybe-
languages officially.
Oh.
What if Lost was just speaking another language? What if he was like, when that roar was like something deep and philosophical about how they can end it without fighting?
What if Lost was Culta's steed? He's riding on a spider.
You should build a version of Lost that he can actually ride on.
I will now.
You mean so like the skeleton jockeys in Minecraft?
Yes, exactly.
But no, what if Lost was actually like this philosopher.
Oh my goodness. He's like, my followers, I must inform you that the key to life is by taking over minds. Or something. That is the key to a good life and to be able to go to Skull Spider Heaven.
I say a philosopher, not a theologian.
It could work either way.
Yeah, I guess it could. But who knows? Loss is so misunderstood, now he might most definitely be dead.
He did get crushed in his own nest.
Well, of course. Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, antics ensue for a while. Tahu gets knocked out. No one decides to do something about the lava.
Come on, man, snap out of it.
So here's a variety of things that Toa could have done instead. Tahu could move the lava. Kopaka could freeze the lava. Gali could turn the lava into obsidian if they're in Minecraft. Pohatu could put some rocks down over the lava. Onua could put some dirt down.
Pohatu may have been able to turn the lava, mix it with sand, and turn it into glass.
Yep. There's a variety of things they could have done, but they choose to use no elemental powers.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe it's like because they haven't like mastered them just yet, and it's.
But they were just using them.
Well, maybe they haven't like gotten to like. I don't want to put this. I don't want to go the Ninjago route, but maybe they haven't found their true potential. I don't want to say it.
No. No.
Like, maybe they haven't found out, like, exactly how to use them properly yet, and they don't find that out until Journey to 1.
Maybe. It could be. But either way, we've seen them using them in small amounts, so there's no reason they couldn't have tried.
But I like how, like, Gali has the Indiana Jones moment in battle with Exato. Where she just, like, she takes a bunch of hits, and then she's like, hey, you're dumb, and just, like, wails away at him. That was great. Especially after like, judo like throws him onto the floor.
Oh, and then Kulta comes back and starts smacking Akimu around.
And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna fight you, but you can't use your hammer power." And
well, that's not quite yet. Well, then we get
1v1 me, bruh.
Yep. And of course, Kulta forgets Akimu has indeed beat him twice.
Yes. And he's like, I want revenge, bruh. 1v1 me.
And I gain enormous respect for Akimu here. He's like, the rules were that the Toa wouldn't help and Akimu wouldn't use his hammer. So he uses Onua's hammer.
Yeah. I like
Which is actually probably better than his hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Probably. Huh.
Of course, isn't it confirmed Akimu's hammer's like magical or something?
I think that's why Kulta didn't want him to use it. Good enough reason why.
So I guess I'm not sure if it's more powerful or not, but either way.
Well,
then Akimu brings down the whole city.
Well, when
and then
Akimu
they run.
was hitting him with his hammer, he was like just kind of like knocking off his mask. But when he hit him with Onua's hammer, he like flew across the room. So I think Onua's hammer is more powerful. But like, does that really matter?
Nah. Either way, the only rule when fighting evil is to win.
I like that.
Yeah, I do
makes a lot of sense. Because, like, when you're fighting evil, it's really all that matters. Just don't lose, don't die, as Sean Hunter and Bobby Morse would say.
This is the new Toa code.
Don't die.
This is the new Toa code instead of like with all the not killing and stuff like that. Nope, the only rule now is to win.
Makes sense.
Yep, I like it better than the old code.
Wasn't that technically always the number one rule with evil?
Yes, just it's win. The number one rule is win.
Like, it's not rocket science. It's not brain science. It's not rocket surgery.
Rocket surgery?
Yeah.
Brain science makes sense, but rocket surgery?
Yeah, it's not brain science or rocket surgery. It's just win, dude. Just don't die.
Then Vizuna, being an idiot again, once they come back, tells them, Oh, we just found out Skull Grinder escaped. I have a feeling Vizuna was on guard
No.
duty. His sensor tail told him that Skull
man,
Grinder had escaped.
Man, I must have like some kind of like backlog of mocks I want to build, because now I want to build like revamps of all the protectors, the current ones. That'd be cool.
Then finally, as it ends, we have that classic ending where we see the villain crushed, and Kulta, who's obviously not very good at figuring out what the rules were, thinks Ikimu cheated.
Well, Kulta is pretty much the tragic hero of the story, people. You see, he prays to Makuta, and Makuta never responds to him. And then he dies. No, he doesn't die.
Well, they're going to die eventually there, aren't they?
Well,
We've confirmed that they need food.
Well, they also said that the Skull Raiders had been alive for thousands of years. So maybe they're immortal.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Do you have to rip them limb from limb to destroy them?
Female Skull Raiders? Did they, like... I don't want to get into that kind of stuff. This is a children's book.
I don't know. We just got into that with the Kodoans. We don't... Well, I think we can assume. It seems to be that way with all the species.
Man, poor choice of words. Baby steps. Poor choice of words.
Okay. We're moving on. We're moving on.
So...
Or maybe Makuta will help them.
I like this book. I thought it was alright.
I thought it was alright. I didn't think it was the best.
Yeah.
I thought there's some parts that definitely could have been better. There were a few boring parts in it. It's kind of like those parts are like the second half of the first chapter book, whose name I forget again.
It's not as boring as The Road.
Lost Masks of Akoto, was that it? Or Island of Lost Masks. That was the first one.
At least this book wasn't as boring as The Road. That book is extremely boring. Although it does have some good moments.
We did get some world building. Nice to finally know the origins of the Skull Warrior, something LEGO didn't want to do, but writer Windham insisted they do, so that's good.
It's just kind of a shame that this is the last one.
Yeah, I hope it's not the last one. I still have a bit of an optimistic. I just have some optimism. It might not be, but I don't know. For now, we've got this book.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it's strange though that we still got no books about the Uniter Toa at all.
That's kind of weird to me too. That's why at the end of this book, I thought they were gonna have some kind of tidbit where Ikimu was like, "Hey, maybe you guys need an upgrade or something because you don't seem that powerful in battle."
It doesn't really seem like with the books that all the books belonged last year, not this year, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of odd. Because now we've gotten them all at this point, and none of them...
I think it just helps complete the story a little bit more.
I know, but I just feel like, maybe even place them back a bit further.
I'm right there with you when I say, I feel like we could have a bit more currency with the books. In terms of the way the story is going, I'm okay with it.
I mean,
as long as the stories they have to tell are decent stories, I'm okay with it. And this is a decent story. If you think it's a decent story, I'd suggest go buy the book.
Yep, it's worth buying. It's only $4 on Kindle. Support it. Maybe if it gets enough sales, they'll get more books.
Well, with the way it's been advertised in the fan community, I don't think so. But optimism.
At least they're advertising it at all, unlike LEGO. Do they even they don't say anything about them in the magazines anymore, do they? Because that's the only place you'd see them G1.
They don't.
Even though they could have even done better back then. It's almost like they want their books to fail.
Who knows?
Speaking of books forward, real quick, when does that new graphic Ninjago? Now, was it a graphic novel or just a novel by Greg Farschi come out?
It's a trilogy.
I know it's a trilogy, but when does it come out?
The first one comes out in July.
I want to read that.
They're releasing it on iBooks.
What's it called?
It's called the Dark Island Trilogy. It sounds so cool. I actually got to read a little bit of an excerpt of it.
It's been so long since I've read Greg Farschi. Someday, we should go back and read the Hero Factory book. I'm not sure if I want
to tell you what it is on this podcast. I think we'll save it.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about those another day, but definitely something interesting I'm looking forward to. Real quick tidbit in that too, Ninjago Rise of the Villain season comes out in August, so that's interesting. And Ford, by the way, I'm caught up on all of them aired on TV, which is 4 of them, but the week after next, they're playing them all in 1 week.
Yes!
It's such an odd release schedule.
We finally get to talk about my favorite season of the show.
Yes, and then soon after that, we'll get to talk about another season.
Oh my goodness, so much. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch the next season. Oh boy.
You know it will be bootlegged.
Wait,
don't you get it like with your cable? Doesn't it appear on like streaming?
Oh yeah, it does.
So I think once this one comes out, you'll probably
cable.
appear on streaming.
Go basic cable.
I would be nice if they just release them on DVD right away.
It would be nice if they put them on Netflix right away.
Yeah, but instead it takes years.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that we're going to get Possessed and Tournament of Elements late this fall.
Who knows? When did season 3 go out? Rebooted?
Late fall.
Oh wow. We'll find out.
And real quick tidbit before we go, the poster.
Yes, the poster looks really cool.
It looks nice. Whoever is doing the posters for Bionicle deserves a raise.
You know that thing that I said about the new Mask of Creation and how it's translucent and needs a little bit more splash of gold?
Mm-hmm.
They listened.
Oh, they did it here.
They listened.
I'm excited for Journey to One to come out. I want to know the story behind that Ikimu still. It's like the only one we don't
I'm thinking
have an
it's
idea.
Like he made himself new armor because he wanted to.
I'm not sure still because how'd that explain the height?
Dude, shut up. It's cool. I mean, I think the set is okay. I'm trying to figure out how I can revamp it because I do like it, but I don't know. It's like with the proportions and all, it's kind of weird.
Is Liwa missing on this poster?
No, he's in the background with Uxar, and he's the only creature in there.
I only see Uxar, I don't see Liwa.
He's right underneath of him.
Oh, that's Liwa. I thought that was Gali.
No, Gally's on the far right.
Yo, there are 6 of them here, aren't there?
Yes! There are 6 Toa, aren't there?
Yes. Yes, there are.
So
it's strange how Netflix is calling it Season 2, especially since the DVD calls the last one Season 1, Volume 1.
That's how it works. I don't know. Also, I just wanted to throw this in there. They updated Mask of Control, the game, recently. By recently, I mean like a week or 2 back. I started playing it again because I was curious, because they added all of my favorite Toa instead of my least favorite Toa, being the first 3. And
you don't like Liwa?
They fixed everything. And I love the game now. It's not broken. If only it were like this, when it was released.
I still want an RPG for Bionicle.
It needs it.
Sadly, they'll probably... When is the last time LEGO did a good RPG? Because, like, LEGO Island, even that was an RPG.
I want to say
they haven't done
Lego
one
Universe,
in a long time.
Or
LEGO Universe was an MMO, not an RPG.
Online, which every single
those were MMOs, not RPGs.
Hey, I don't know.
Those don't qualify.
I don't know.
So, have they not done a real RPG since, like, the days of back in Darwin and Templar?
I don't think so. I mean,
wow.
All the licensed games haven't been RPGs.
Nope, they haven't. They've been just like adventure, not even adventure. I don't know what that style of game's called. Really, it's just known as the Lego genre.
Pretty much. If only the in-house properties got console releases.
Lego City Undercover did. I mean, that was a great game. One of the best Lego games ever.
But, like, how about a Ninjago game for console?
That actually almost... In fact, that one was like an RPG, too.
Like, how about a console port of Shadow of Ronin? I'd play that.
Yeah, okay. I have heard bad things about that game, though.
Really?
Yeah.
How about
Ninjago Battles was a simple game, but if like a good... Let's face it, there's 2 tiers of video games. The good video games, and then the port video games.
Oh, well.
Like, you know how Marvel movies used to get very terrible port video games, and Marvel said they're not doing them anymore?
Sure. Totally.
You don't know, do you?
No, I don't at all.
But anyways, there's a difference between making a good game to just like sell the other thing
you know what?
and making a good game.
You know, the only good port I've ever played is the GBA port of A Link to the Past.
Well, that's not the type of port. I mean, not a port of another video game, but like a port of a movie to a game.
Oh no, that never works. That never works at all. No.
But yeah, or like a really good Ninjago, like even in just the Lego style Ninjago video game for a console.
Yeah,
that'd be really
cool. That's what
cool.
I was saying. And Shadow
And like
Vermin
with its
was sort of that, but for the 3DS.
and it would. Lego DS games never do well. They're never that great.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
technology wise.
They need to make a good version. Well, apparently it was on, like the phone, like the smartphones too.
What was Lego City Undercover?
No, Shadow Ronin.
Huh. I did not know that, but like I said, I'm not going to get the game. I have a DS anyways.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I knew their mobile games just aren't that great. Their console games are usually pretty good, but their mobile are not. Everyone just forgets about them.
And with The Force Awakens finally coming out, it's like, oh.
I've heard good things about that game so far. Actually, like they really improved some mechanics.
Honestly, I do not care.
I figured you wouldn't.
Unfortunately,
no, but I've actually heard pretty good things about the game.
If good things are happening with it, okay, let them enjoy it. I still think they should have waited.
I think they should have waited too, but I mean, at least if it's a good game, I can excuse it because then you just get more good games in the end. There's really no loss to it.
If I've seen the movie before, then like, have I technically played the game before?
Well, the same can argue for all Lego Star Wars games. Also, this isn't just the movie either. They added a lot of side stories to it.
Oh, right, yeah. Can I just get those instead of the main game? 'Cause I don't even like
I think those are part of the main game. Yeah, I think those are actually part of the main game you have to play. But that's going to do it for us today because we are out of time.
All right. Wow.
This was an almost entirely Bionicle podcast this week.
That's
wow.
awesome. You see, that's how good these books are. You could talk about them forever. And it's a shame nobody talks about these because they're awesome.
So, in conclusion, you should talk about the books.
Yes, you should.
Not just anywhere. We should talk about them in the comments below.
Yes, you should.
And remember to like, subscribe, share the video.
You'll be super mega awesome, fantastic if you do. I almost messed up my catchphrase.
And don't forget, you can email us if you have a question or comment about the show at bioniclecomedicentral@gmail.com.
Sorry we didn't get to any emails this week.
Yeah, I fear they're not as interesting when there's only two of us here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
So, for Ford and myself, LQ, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.